Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Indiana 4-H Roundup. We are excited to have you join us today and privileged to be able to have our speaker, Michael Cuestas, join us and be able to bring you the message that he was going to bring you in person during our 4-H Roundup at Purdue University. We hope that you are having a great day and hope that after this presentation, you are going to decide to get up rather than to give up. And we know that you're going to do it the 4-H way, and we are extremely privileged to be able to have this program brought to us by some great partners of the Indiana 4-H and the Indiana 4-H Foundation, and want to bring some greetings on behalf of those sponsors and thank them very much for their support of our 4-H program, not just for Indiana 4-H Roundup, but for all of our 4-H programming that goes on throughout the entire year. Just a couple of ground rules to help us make sure that we have a successful meeting today. First of all, if you have not registered for tomorrow's workshop session, be sure to do so. And you can find that registration link either on our 4-H website or 4-H social media, or go back to the email that was sent to you last week regarding today's program. Also, I'd like to make sure that everyone keeps their microphone muted unless you need to say something, but actually the best way to say something is through our chat box. And so if you have questions for our speaker, I'd like for you to send those to me through the chat box, and I'll facilitate those questions at the very end. And so the other question is that most people ask is video. It is not necessary that you have video, but if you are in an area that does not have good broadband capabilities, I would suggest going ahead and turning your video off so that you can make sure that you hear all of the sound and be able to receive the message that Michael is going to have, not only in voice, but also sharing with you on his screen. So with that, I'm going to ask our sponsors to be able to bring some greetings on behalf of their companies. We are proud to have 4-H Roundup sponsored by Ceres Solutions, Corteva Agriscience, and the Indiana State Department of Agriculture. We're going to hear from the Indiana State Department of Agriculture and Andrew Carty at the end of our presentation today. But to get us started, I'm going to ask David Smith from Ceres Solutions to bring some greetings on behalf of their company. David?
Good afternoon, and thank you, Tony. Just on behalf of Ceres Solutions, just want to welcome all of you. I know this isn't the platform that you'd originally want to be a part of, but yet at the same standpoint, from Ceres Solutions standpoint, 4-H, FFA, the youth programs that are going to develop the leadership skills, it's going to put you forth and put you forward and everything to great opportunities to come. So that's why as Ceres Solutions, from our farmer-owned cooperative to our 800 employees, we have a strong foundation of employees that's been involved, like myself, a 10-year member, and I think a lot of you will be that as well. But yet just continue to develop those skills, and I know that you've been through this challenging time, and you're making the best better today. So continue to do that, continue to lead your communities, and look at the opportunities for you to further develop yourself, though. But those are the kind of skills that you're going to do through programs like this, and you're going to further develop as you look at your future plans. So again, congratulations as far as being involved in the program, and proud to be supporting of it. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. And know that we certainly appreciate the partnership that Ceres Solutions, Corteva Agriscience, and Indiana State Department of Agriculture. Bring greetings on our speaker, Michael Cuestas.
Thanks for inviting me more with what David mentioned. As a 4-H alumni as well, 10-year, I can attest that the things I learned in 4-H I've taken throughout my life. As Tony mentioned, I'm representing today Corteva Agriscience. We invest in this program because we believe that the skills, experiences, and friendships from 4-H will serve you the rest of your life. At Corteva, we invest our time and financial resources in the 4-H program and the foundation because we want to invest in our customers and potentially some future employees around the table today. We value the focus on youth development and leadership that the 4-H organization provides to the next generation of leaders. That's all of you. I'm so glad you made the choice today to be here today, because I never imagined that the skills that I learned at conferences such as Roundup and the friends from 4-H would carry me through to my college experience, my work life, in serving the agricultural industry and as a volunteer 4-H leader now today. I encourage you to take advantage of all the doors which 4-H will continue to open to you. As a result of your 4-H experience, I encourage you to dream bigger, work harder, and really stretch yourself to achieve your fullest potential. I'll close with a fitting quote from John Quincy Adams. If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, and do more, and become more, you are a leader. So thanks for being here today. I wanted to go ahead and introduce our keynote speaker today. Our speaker today has spoken to thousands of students across the country. We're so lucky to have him here today. He's one of the most genuine youth speakers with a message that will have you laughing and maybe even singing. I can't wait to hear this, Tony. Michael was able to overcome some major obstacles from his past, and he continues to encourage students to make wise choices and see their true value. Michael says that his biggest goal in life is to have more followers on Instagram than his mom. I love that, Michael. Please welcome Michael Cuestas.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Robin. Really appreciate it. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, Tony. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So I want this as interactive as we can make it. So I have a question for you guys starting off. In the chat box, want to know how many of you have brothers or sisters. You can just put in there me, hey, what's up? You can put an emoji, whatever that is. So I just want to know how many of you have brothers and sisters. Put that in there. Let's see, I know I have brothers and sisters. So I have an older brother and a younger sister. I come from a family that we moved all around the country. All right, awesome, good. 2, we got me, yes. 1 brother, great, great. All right, nice. Oh, someone has a brother and sister too? Sweet. Okay, so that's one way we can get some interaction with you guys. Another way you might see that there's a reactions button down on the bottom. There's a hand clap or a thumbs up. So if there's something throughout the talk that you enjoy, go ahead and throw a thumbs up or a clap, whatever you want to do, because I want this to be as interactive. Even though we can't be in person together, we can still be interactive and get to hang out with each other. So, wow, someone has 6 brothers and sisters, 7 brothers and sisters. Wow, okay. So now here's the even better question. How many of you, especially during this time of being so close, ever wanted to slap your brother or sister? I feel like we're going to get a lot more me's this time. Oh yeah, they're coming in. They are flying in. Okay, wow. Wow, you guys are a little too quick on that. That scares me a little bit. Wrestling works too. It does work too. Nice. Every day. Wow, Whitney. Okay. We're going to have to keep an eye on Whitney, but that's okay. Yeah, when you're in this tight of quarters with each other for so long, you kind of get on edge with each other. You kind of get on each other's nerves, and you're a little more touchy than usual. And so for me growing up, I had an older brother and a younger sister. My older brother, he was always gone hanging out with his friends. And so that left my younger sister and I just to hang out and get on each other's nerves, as I'm sure you guys are experiencing that. And so I remember there was this one particular time that my mom had made this brownie mix. So she brought it home, she put it in the oven. Our house was filled with this chocolatey smell, like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And I was so excited because Mikey likey chocolate, okay? If you like chocolate, give a thumbs up on the reactions. Let's see if you guys can get that. Thumbs up. All right, good. Who else? All right, thumbs up, chocolate, perfect. Tatiana, you love chocolate, awesome. Tyler, you love that chocolate, cool. All right, sweet. Okay, so I love chocolate. My mom put the mix in the oven. My sister was standing there in line waiting for the brownies. My sister had a very loud mouth when she was, well, she still does, but younger particularly, she had a very loud mouth. And she was waiting in line for the brownies. As an older brother, you get to cut in front of your younger siblings anytime you want to, right? Older brothers and sisters? Yeah, you guys know. So my sister was standing in line. I sneakily cut in front of her. She doesn't say anything. All of a sudden, I feel this stabbing sensation in my back. I drop to my knees. I look around. My sister is standing there with a grin on her face and a fork in her hand. She just stabbed me for brownies. Yeah, it was not fun. So, and so the crazy thing is that is a true story. To this day, I call my sister the brownie backstabber. Yeah, she does not like that, but she did it, so that's her own fault. Yeah, do it for brownies. I would do it for brownies, Eli, definitely. So here's the thing, though. See, there's a point to that story. My sister, she had a goal in mind. I was her obstacle. And my sister was going to do whatever she could do to get to that goal. It didn't matter what obstacle was in her way, she was going to get to that goal. Now, during this time, it's a little bit different. School's a little bit different. Friendships are a little bit different. Families are a little bit different. And these obstacles that we don't imagine, they come up in our way. And what are we going to do in those instances? What are we going to do when challenges come up that we don't expect? What are we going to do when hard things happen that we don't expect? We should do everything we could do to get through those obstacles. See, my sister saw herself as greater than that obstacle that presented it in front of her. And so you guys have to have that same grit, that same tenacity, that same level, that same passion to get through those things if you want to get to your end goal. And that end goal for my sister was the chocolate. So what is it for you guys, that thing that's in your way, that thing that continues to tell you that you're less than, the thing that holds you back from being who you were created to be? See, we all have difficult things and challenges that come up in our life. And in those moments, you have to tell yourself that you are greater than those things. See, for me, growing up, I grew up in Virginia. Both my parents were in the Navy, and we had moved around a lot, but we were in Virginia. I remember there was this one time I came home, and I came around the corner. I was 5 years old. I was walking home from school with my brother. Here's the thing. My brother's name is Margarito Guadalupe Cuestas. I called him Bubba. So much easier to say. So I was walking home with Bubba, and I come around the corner, and we see my mom sitting on the front step. I'm 5 years old. I go up to her. I get closer, and I see that she's crying. And so I go up to her. I say, "Mommy, Mommy, why are you crying?" And she doesn't answer. I say, "Mommy, Mommy, why are you crying?" And she doesn't answer. I go inside. My father is sitting on his brown leather recliner that he sits on every Sunday to watch football. And I go to him and I say, "Daddy, Daddy, why is Mommy crying?" And he just has tears streaming down his face and he doesn't say anything. I say, "Daddy, Daddy, why is Mommy crying?" And he's holding this piece of paper in his hand. I'm going to find out earlier that day my mom was putting away laundry. And she sees this piece of paper in the top drawer. She gets it out. She opens it up. She recognizes it's not her handwriting. And it was a note from another woman. I see, that was the day that my mom found out that my dad was cheating on her. See, I didn't know what to do as a 5-year-old. I didn't know what to do in that moment. I know that my mom made a courageous choice. She chose to leave my father that day. She didn't know what her life was going to be like. She didn't know that simple piece of paper could have a drastic effect on her life. She didn't know that one single paper with a few words on it could drastically change her life. See, she chose to become a single mother and raise 3 crazy kids and 1 really, really awesome kid. And I think you know who that is. My sister. Yeah, my sister. And it's crazy because I remember that day that my mom, she told us to go into our room to go grab our stuff because we were leaving that day. And I remember grabbing my Mickey Mouse blanket and grabbing my teddy bear, who I was so original and creative, and I called him Teddy. And I have Teddy and I have my Mickey Mouse blanket, and I get in the back seat of the car, and I'm just looking out the back window. And as we pull away, my father is standing there with tears streaming down his face. See, I didn't know that that was the last day I was ever going to see my father. And if I did, I probably would have hugged him for a million minutes and wanted to tell him that I loved him a million times. But I didn't know what was going to happen with my life. And I didn't truly understand it at that age. But for my mom, see, she made a courageous choice. And for us, sometimes we don't know where our life is going to end up. We don't know what life is going to throw our way. We don't know when we're going to be stuck at home for months on end, spending time with our families, not getting to go to school, not getting to hang out with our friends. But in those moments, you have to see yourself as greater than those things. See, I'm not going to pretend to be here and think that I know what's going on in your life. Nobody has a perfect life. And that's the problem that we run into, is that we start to compare our life with other people's lives. We start to think that they have a better life. We start to think that they have a perfect life and that ours is junk. But the problem is that we are comparing our life, our every minute, every second, to someone's highlights, right? The highlights that we see on Instagram, on Snapchat, on social media, we only see the good things. And that's when we are comparing that. But here's the deal. See, life is a journey. I think that we all have this car that we're driving. We all have this path that we're driving. Well, some of you can't drive yet, but you'll get to experience driving. It's great, but also not great at the same time. So we're driving and we look to the right, we look to the left, and we see these different vehicles. We see these different people, and we start to think, wow, their vehicle is so much better than mine. But that's just on the outside. You don't see the engine. You don't see the interior. You don't see those things that are inside that may be totally crap. But we're comparing ourselves to other people's life. Everyone has a different journey that we're on. And the moment that we start to compare ourselves, it is a lose-lose battle. Because when we compare ourselves to someone else and we think that we're better than them, then we start to build up pride. When we compare ourselves to someone else and we start to think that we're less than them, then we start to get discouraged and our self-esteem gets lowered. And so every single time it is a lose-lose battle. So I challenge you not to compare yourself to other people, but look to other people for inspiration. Be inspired by who they are. Be inspired by the things that they do, because we become the 5 closest people to us. We start to pick up on their habits. We start to pick up on their likes and their dislikes. And so look at the people that you have around you. Are they the people that are encouraging you to be greater than who you were yesterday? Are they the people that are encouraging you to be better than who you were yesterday? If not, then you maybe have some hard decisions to make with friends. So I challenge you to look at those people. Are they encouraging you to be greater than? If they are stabbing you in the back with a fork, you probably want to get some new people, right? Here's some advice I would tell you about people with forks and brownies, okay? Gentlemen, you want to listen closely. Ladies, I'm sure you'll agree once I say this. Gentlemen, never, ever get between a girl and her chocolate. Right, ladies? Can I get some thumbs up, some hand claps on that one? Yeah, definitely. Yes. Amara says yes, absolutely. Perfect, yep. Awesome. Here's the deal, guys, okay? A lot of times we can let life happen by chance instead of making it happen by choice. And so you guys have a choice right now, the times that we're going through. Are you gonna make your life the best that it can be? So I want you guys to put in the chat box, what are some ways that you have taken advantage of this quarantine time to lead others, to help others? So put some examples in there. Maybe it's reach out to a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. Maybe it's reach out to a grandparent. Maybe it's connect with someone, send someone a gift. Let's see what you guys have been doing during this quarantine. Go ahead and pop it in there. Oh, you made masks? Awesome, Jillian. Did you send those to people to help them out? 3D printed mask? Awesome, Jillian, thank you. Charlie, 3D printed mask holders, that's great. Got close to his siblings, hopefully not too close. Right? Okay. Good collected food, that's awesome. Newsletter, that's great. Talk to a distant friend. Good cookies, brownies, fundraising. Yeah, these are all great, you guys. So you guys can look at this list and get inspired by what other people are doing, the ways you can reach out and help people see the ways that they're greater than their current situation. So Yeah, wow, these keep coming in. That's awesome. Send a present, play basketball, send desserts, tried to get closer to my siblings. Hey, sometimes trying is all you can do. All you can do, Jada. Found old friends on social media. Yep, that's a great way to do that. Yeah, I've definitely connected with old friends as well. Practicing extra piano, great. Family Zoom meetings. Oh yeah, we do we do family Zoom meetings, and because you don't get to see people's faces that often, like the first 10 minutes we're all just sitting there staring just to see another face of someone. It's really weird and awkward, but that's what happens in the beginning. We just want to see other people's faces. Yeah. Oh, Marco Polo. That's a great app. If you haven't used it, you can connect with videos with family. So definitely do that. Thanks, Elise. Elise, I think I'm saying that right. Eli, learning Japanese. Wow. Konnichiwa. I think that's Japanese. Pretty sure. I think that's the only Japanese word I know. All right. Work with DNR. Learning Spanish. Hola. Perfect, Kennedy. Teaching myself the ukulele. All right. Good. Well, maybe tomorrow you guys can show me some of those skills as you come to the workshop tomorrow. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for sharing those. Yeah, look at that list. Look at the ways that you can encourage others during this time, ways that you can still connect with other people during this time. So for me, my life, my mom, we left Virginia at that time. So we're going to rewind a little bit. My mom, we left, and I remember leaving my father, and as tears stream down his face, as we drive away, he keeps getting further and further and further away. And maybe for some of us right now, we think that our dreams or our goals are maybe getting further and further and further away. Maybe not even because of some of the choices that we make, but because of some of the things that life throws our way. So we left Virginia. We ended up in Wisconsin. We lived with some family for a while. We ended up moving out to Las Vegas. My mom had a job opportunity out there, and that fell through. So my mom looked for a job for a long time. She looked, we were driving around places, going to different things. And I remember this one time we pulled up at this big building. This is where we were going to stay. I thought it was a hotel. We get in there, we get into this big room. It has a bunch of different bunk beds, these metal gray bunk beds. The walls are gray. And I remember laying in bed that night and falling asleep. And I'm holding Teddy, and I'm holding my Mickey Mouse blanket. And I'm thinking, why is my father not here to say goodnight? Why isn't my daddy here to tuck me in? Why isn't he here to tell me that he loves me? And so a lot of times we take on the burden of these difficult things that life puts on us. But that's why we have people around us to help share that burden. And so if you're going through something right now, I would encourage you to talk to a friend. I encourage you to be vulnerable, because as leaders, as you guys are in 4-H, you are leaders because you want to help communities, you want to help other people. And so when we're vulnerable, when we share the difficult things that we have going on in our lives, that gives freedom to other people to share what's going on in their lives. Because a lot of times we self-quarantine ourselves, which means on the inside we think that we're the only people that have this particular thing going on, or we're the only person that can be dealing with this. And if someone knew that I was dealing with that, maybe they're not going to be friends with me. Maybe they're going to think I'm weird. Maybe they're going to think that I'm this awkward person. But here's the deal. I guarantee that there's people out there that you know in your communities that are dealing with the same thing. And so when we share those things with other people, it gives you freedom. It gives them freedom to be able to say, you know what, thank you for sharing that. You know what, me too. Me too. How can we help encourage each other and help each other during this time? So this is a time to embrace it. Don't pull back. Don't isolate, but bring people into your bubbles that we're living in right now. See, for me, I was so ashamed of my life growing up, because as I was in bed that night and thinking of my father, I come to find out that place was actually a homeless shelter. See, my mom couldn't find a job. We didn't have any money. And so we lived in a homeless shelter for a while. And I was so ashamed of that. I was so ashamed that we lived in poverty for most of my life, because I didn't want people to think that I was weird and I acted differently around different people at school or at church or at home. See, I put on this mask, I put on this facade because I wanted people to think that I was greater than what I really was. You know, I would tell little white lies to make myself look better than what I was. But here's the deal. People want to know the real you, guys. People want to know the real person that you are. Because if we all acted the same, if we were all the same, it would be so boring. Think about this world with 7.5 billion of you. You probably wouldn't be friends with you, right? To be honest, we would walk around, we would not be friends with the people that are just like us, exactly like us, because we were created to be unique, and you all have different gifts and talents. And so how can you encourage others during this time? How can you share what you have going on in your life during this time? So make sure that you reach out and help others see that. We ended up moving to Wisconsin. Fast forward a few years, I'm in 4th grade, and I have this teacher named Mr. Marinello. In 4th grade, Mr. Marinello is hard to say, and so I called him Mr. M. And Mr. M was one of those teachers that went above and beyond the call of duty. He wanted his students to know that they were loved and they have skills and they're greater than those things that held them back. And so I remember we had a spelling bee in 4th grade. Let's get some reactions. Do you guys like spelling bees? I know spelling bees, some people love spelling, some people don't love spelling. Let's see, put it in the chat box. No, all right, no. So far, no, okay. No thanks, nah. So, all right, we got 1, yeah, Lane. 2 yes, all right. No, nah. They make me nervous. They do make you nervous. It's hard being up on stage. I'm bad at spelling. Charlie, that was a good one. He said, not really. He misspelled on purpose. I see what he did there, Charlie. Nice job. All right. So, well, I was so excited because 4th grade, we had a spelling bee, and you had to go against all the other 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Okay. And when you're in 4th grade, the 6th graders look like 7-foot tall NFL linebackers. Like, they are ginormous. They are huge. And you're staring up. You're like, oh my gosh. Right? 7th graders? You guys are huge. Yeah. But maybe not huge. That's not the right word. Tall, very muscular. Okay, good. And so when you're in 4th grade, you're looking up, you guys are ginormous. So, I remember that day we had to do around the world for the spelling bee. If you guys remember around the world, basically you had to stand next to someone at a desk, like math, right? They would say 4 times 4. Hopefully you guys got 16. Okay, good. 4 times 4, 16. And the fastest one got to move on to the next round. And so that's how we did the spelling bee. And so if you spelled it correctly, you got to move on to the next round, and so on and so on. And the top 3 people went to the school spelling bee. And I was so excited. I practiced that night. I practiced with my mom. I was pumped up. The next day comes, we're in class. I make it into the top 3 of the class, and I was so excited. And then my friends come to me and they say, Michael, why are you even going to try? You're not going to win. And I was like, what? These guys were my friends, and they were telling me that I was less than. And the problem was that I started to believe that. And so I went to Mr. M, and I said, Mr. M, I'm not going to do the spelling bee. And he says, why? And I give the typical 4th grade answer, I don't know. And he looks at me, he's like, Michael, why? He knew I wasn't being honest. I said, because my friends told me that I couldn't win. Now, remember, he gets down to my eye level and he says, Michael, you are greater than what other people say you are. You are greater than what other people say you are. And I think Mr. M was trying to say that you are greater than even what you tell yourself that you are. See, I think that a lot of times we are our biggest hater. We have this inner monologue, this inner voice that tells us that we're less than other things, or that we think that some people don't like us, or we think that we go through our thoughts all day and we made that one simple comment or that one thing that we thought was a dumb thing, and we just meditate on that one thing and we beat ourselves up over those things. So you guys were created for a purpose, and you have worth and you have value. You all have unique skills, and your responsibility is to share those skills and gifts with this world. You were created for so much more. You need to stop allowing other people and other things and yourself to tell you that you are less than, because you are greater than. You are greater than depression, anxiety, bullies, excuses, fear, doubts, these things that typically hold us back. You are so much greater than all those things. And so Mr. M said, yes, Michael, you are greater than that. And so I go, Mr. M, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the spelling bee. We'll go. So now so that day I went, we get to the school auditorium. It's in the big auditorium. It's like you're at the Grammy Awards. All the celebrities are there. I'm on stage and I was so nervous. And so I'm standing there. We make it through a few rounds and I get to continue on. And I'm only one of the last fourth graders on the stage. And I make it through a few more rounds. I make it to the final round where I'm going against 2 other 6th grade girls. And so I get my word. I get it correctly. The next girl, she gets her word. She gets it wrong. And so it's just me and this 6th grade girl. And for a second, I'm thinking, maybe I should let her win. Maybe she'll want to date me. No, probably not. I'm a selfish 4th grade boy. Let's go. So she gets her it right. It comes back to me. I get my word wrong. Her next word, she gets wrong. And so we have this final round. My word comes. I get it right. She gets her next word wrong. And so if you guys remember spelling bees, you have to get the final word right. So I remember it's so quiet, intense music. Thank you, Eli. That wasn't really good, but so it's quiet. I remember you could hear a pin drop in the auditorium and they say my word scientific. And I say SCIENTIFIC. Scientific. And they say, congratulations, you are the Madison School Elementary Spelling Bee Champ of 1997. And so I'm on stage and I run off stage. I give my mom a hug. I see Mr. M. I see my so-called friends and they say, good job, Michael. And Mr. M says, Michael, you are greater than what other people tell you you are. You're greater than what other people tell you you are. Very next year, here's the thing. A lot of times we live on this high of our accomplishments and then we put down our barriers. We don't continue to grow. So a lot of times people struggle with the fear of success. Yes, the fear of success. Here's the deal. A lot of times we set the bar so high that we're fearful that we're not ever going to be able to reach that bar again. And so sometimes we don't try as hard as we really can because we set that bar too high and we're going to feel like a failure because we didn't hit that bar again. And so for me, the very next year in 5th grade, we had a teacher named Mrs. Pelletier. And Mrs. Pelletier did something no teacher should ever do. She said, hey, I want you guys to correct your papers, switch with a partner, and you're going to correct each other's papers. Yeah. She was a new teacher. She didn't know what she was doing. So a friend of mine, Brandon, said, hey, guys, what we should do is switch papers with each other and change answers. And I was like, oh, man, guys, I don't know. But then I remember my mom said if I get 4 A's and 2 B's that she will buy me a Super Nintendo. And I love me some Mario Kart. Guys, if we're ever together and you want to play Mario Kart, I will play you. I will beat you. It'll be on. Let me know. So my mom said we will buy Super Nintendo, SNES. And so I was like, all right, Brandon, I'm in. Let's do this. So the whole year, we switch papers. We change answers. Mrs. Pelletier never catches on. I probably shouldn't use her real name. I just realized that because never mind. That's not her real name. Do not look her up. And so Mrs. Schmeletier did not catch on the whole year. We changed answers. I ended up getting 4 A's or 5 A's and 1 B. I had to get 1 B because I know if I got all A's, my mom would be very suspicious. And so I had to throw that 1 B in there. I got my Super Nintendo. I'm playing it. I was so excited. As the night goes on, I start to feel guilty. And the more I play, the more guilty I feel. So I go to my mom that night. I say, Mom, let's take the Super Nintendo back. It's not really, I'm not really enjoying it. It's not that fun. I never told her the truth. So we take the Super Nintendo back to the store. I end up getting this Nike lime green like jumpsuit, like jogging suit. I was like, maybe that's a foreshadowing of my future. Like, maybe I should just get in a jumpsuit now because I'm cheating on tests. I'm running cheating scandals. What is going on? A few months later, I'm at the mall, and there is a Shopko. Shopko, if you guys don't have them, it's like a little better than a Walmart, a little less than a Target. So it's kind of the in-between. And so I'm at Shopko, and I used to collect basketball cards as a kid. I want you guys to put in the chat box, what did you collect as a kid? So I know some people say like Webkins, rocks, different cards, Pokemon. Charlie, my favorite game was Mario Kart. All right, so toy tractors, Hot Wheels, yes, basketball cards, sports cards, Legos, battles, Pokemon, a lot of Pokemon, feathers. Wow, Murphy, feathers. Okay, okay. I'm not judging, just wondering. The dogs out of gumball machines. What do you guys do in Indiana? What is going? I think that's illegal. I'm pretty sure. Beanie Boos. Yep. Wrestling cards. Lego Friends. Oh yeah. What about what were those wristbands that were like animal shaped? You guys remember those? Does anyone know what they were called? I forget what they were called. Silly bands. Yes. Thank you, Terry. Coming in clutch. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, silly bands. I collected Imagination too. All right, cool. Will bands, rocks and marbles, smash pennies. Oh yeah, nice. There was once I had a kid from Washington say that he collected fingernails. I was like, what? One kid said he collected hair. That was crazy, creepy. Oh, one kid collected belly button lint. Why? 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 I still don't know to this day why. I'm not going to say which state that was, but I think you guys can guess. All right, Disney pins from Disney World. Yes, his own belly button lint, Gretchen, not other people's belly button lint. Excuse me, can I have your belly button lint? Thank you. That would be weird, Gretchen. Please don't do that. All right, cool. Eli, that's a good guess. I can't tell you if that's true or not. All right, awesome. So I didn't see anything too weird on here. All right, you guys are pretty normal. That's good. All right. Antique lawnmowers. Wow, nice. Like the little like pedal tractor John Deere ones. Is that what you're talking about, Tyler? No. Okay. All right. Cool. So I collected basketball cards. I was so excited. I was at Shopko, and back in my day, we had these jackets. They were called starter jackets. Okay, the company was Starter, and there were these pullover jackets. Sponsors, maybe you guys used to have one. But I had a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket. It had this like big pocket in the front. It was like a kangaroo pouch. It was very strange. I don't know why they were popular, but I had a black Charlotte Hornets jacket. And so I go into Shopko. I'm in the basketball card aisle. I get the basketball cards. I walk to the cashier. I check out. Shopko is connected to the mall. So I go out into the mall. I find a bench. If you ever collected cards, you will know this feeling. I open the basketball cards. There are no good ones. I was like, I go back into the store. I'm in the basketball card aisle. I realize I don't have any more money. So I take the cards. I put it in my jacket pocket, my kangaroo pouch. I walk past the registers. No alarms go off. I'm looking all suspicious. I walk into the mall. I sit down on the bench. I open the basketball cards. No good cards. I go back into Shopko. I think you can see where this is going. I go back into Shopko. I'm in the basketball card aisle. I get more basketball cards. I look left. I look right. Put it in my pocket. I start to walk out. Hey, this guy grabs me. I turn around. I immediately pull the basketball cards out. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I give him the basketball cards. Oh my gosh, my AirPod just fell out. See, that's how crazy and crying I was at the time. So I give him the basketball cards. He brings me to this office. There's a bench with handcuffs on it. I start crying even more, except that they were for me. He's like, young man, we're gonna have to call the police. I'm like, okay. And he's like, young man, we're gonna have to call your mama. I was like, no, don't call my mama, please, no. We're gonna need the police here first. So they call my mom. Thankfully, they cannot get a hold of her. My uncle is staying with us at that time. They handcuff me. They put me in the back of the squad car. They drive me home. My uncle opens the door, gives me this look like, you're dead. I say, I know. My mom told me to wait in her room until she got home from work. And I'm pacing around the room. I'm like trying to hide all the belts and all the shoes. And I'm like laying out a feather, like maybe she'll use that to spank me. So my mom comes home. I got the spanking of my life. I'd never shoplifted again. I had to take a class that weekend to teach me that shoplifting was bad, because apparently I didn't know then, but now I know now, and you guys know too. So don't shoplift, stay in school, don't do drugs, okay? Your life will be so much better. The crazy things, I went from that high in 4th grade to spelling bee champ to that low in 5th grade of cheating and stealing. So I think a lot of that had to do with the people that I chose to surround myself with. Who are the people that you are choosing to surround yourself with? Because that's going to make a big impact on the path that your life takes. Because again, you pick up on their habits. You pick up on the things that they do. You pick up on their likes and their dislikes. And so do you have people around you that are telling you that you're greater than, that are encouraging you, that are lifting you up? If not, then you really need to take a hard look at that and get people in your life that can continue to help you grow in as you go into high school, and grow as you're in 4-H program, and grow into whatever it is that you want to be. If you want to be better at sports, hang around with people that are good at sports. If you want to be better at singing, hang around people that are good at singing. If you want to be better at 4-H and what you're doing, hang around people that are amazing at what they do in 4-H. Another thing that's super helpful is to have an adult mentor in your life, someone that you can trust, someone that you can go to for advice. I know people in 4-H, leaders and sponsors can help that, a teacher, whatever that is. Get someone that can help you in your life answer those questions, right? Because a lot of times, honestly, we hear the same message. I remember as a kid, I heard the same message, but sometimes like advertising, that we see it on TV, we hear it on the radio, we see it as a pop-up ad when you're just talking in your living room and Facebook comes up with that thing that you were just talking about. It's freaky. Stop doing that, Facebook. And so we have to hear these messages continually, that we start to get them in our brains. So your parents are great people, okay? They have great advice. They live through their lives. You can go to them. You can talk to them. But also it's good to have another just voice in your life from other people that continue to tell you that you're greater than. All right, fast forward a little more. I'm in high school. Here's the deal. I didn't really date in high school. You guys are like, what? That's so crazy. You look just like Ryan Gosling. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think a big problem with that was the vehicle that I drove. So as you guys remember, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. We were pretty poor. And so my mom didn't have any money. She didn't really have any credit. But my uncle said, if you buy our vehicle, we will give you a loan. So I was like, okay, I'm 16. That's probably the only option I have. And so I'm thinking of a black BMW. I'm going to, put rims on it, tint the windows, get a sound system in there. I'll be driving around like, pull up the stoplights, like, what's up? He said, but the vehicle you have to drive is our minivan. Yeah, it's our minivan. So I was like, okay, I don't have any choice. I guess I'm going to drive a minivan. And so I had a friend named Jerry. Jerry, he was very peculiar, okay? Jerry was one of those guys that you're not sure he had it all together. He was a little slow on some of the things, and he looked like he did drugs, but he never did any drugs in his whole life. He was just always like, dude. He's like, dude, I have a question. I have some suggestions for your band. I think we should give it a name, and I have some names here. He's like, dude, how about Dragon Slayer? Jerry, it's a white minivan. Why would we call it Dragon Slayer? He's like, okay. Soften it up a little bit. How about Butterfly Kisses? Jerry, what is wrong with you? I'm not calling you Butterfly Kisses. He's like, okay. How about Swagger Wagon? I was like, Jerry, that is the best idea you ever came up with. We called it Swagger Wagon. We put tints on the inside. We put like purple lights over the lights. We put a candle in there for when we drove around with ladies. We never drove around with ladies. The candle ended up being for Jerry and I. There was this one time, no, literally, we had a candle in there. There was one time Jerry lit the candle as we were driving. I made a sharp turn. The candle falls over onto the floor. There was papers on the floor. Jerry's screaming. There's fire in the van. I was like, ah! You know, it was like the movie, but it seemed real. But we're okay. Jerry did not get burned. We were good. Do not have lit candles in a moving vehicle. Okay, do not do that. Even though it was like Bath and Body Works and it smelled really nice, but don't do that. So there was a wedding we had to go to that weekend. And I don't know, I don't think I haven't seen them lately with students, but when we were younger, we had something called frosted tips, okay? In high school, basically you had little blonde specks on your hair, okay? And it took a long process to get these frosted tips. It was like hours on end. If you guys have ever done it, put it in the chat box. Yeah, they were like highlight Savannah, but they were a little bit different. And so you had to put on this like school lunch lady hairnet, and you had to pull the hair through these holes and then put on the dye, and it had to be on there for like 2 or 3 hours if you want them really blonde, like we used to do back in the day. And so Jerry, we had to go to the mall that weekend because we were going to a wedding, so I had to get a new shirt. You know, I had to look nice for the wedding. So Jerry's like, dude, you could hair dye, you can kill 2 stones with a bird. I was like, what? He's like, 2 stones with a bird. All right, Jerry, whatever, dude. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So we put on the hair dye. I look like a school lunch lady. I go to the mall, not Shopko because I was banned from there. We go to the mall, we go to JCPenney, we get a shirt. I'm thinking I'm not gonna run into anyone I know, right? Yeah, wrong. So I get out to the main area and I hear this voice, Michael? And I look, and there is my crush, Renee, standing there with her family. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know she knew what I looked like or how she knew my name, but she could recognize me with a hairnet on. I was like, holy crap. I was so scared and nervous. So we talked for a little bit. I go back to the swagger wagon. I'm sitting there. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like, dude, it's okay, man. It's okay. A couple days later, I'm back at the mall, Bath and Body Works. I'm looking at the candles, smelling some lotion. I hear the same angelic voice, Michael? I throw the lotion behind me. I look and there's Renee standing there again. And I was like, oh my gosh. We talked for a little bit. A few days later, we're at Perkins. Do you guys have Perkins? Do you guys know Perkins? All right, awesome. Yep, Tremendous 12. It's great. So I'm at Perkins with Jerry. Renee is there with some of her friends. We chat for a little bit. Thankfully, I'm not doing any hand moisturizing or hair dyeing of any kind. It's crazy because one of Renee's friends said to her, hey, that Michael Cuestas kid is kind of cute. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. What the heck? So it's crazy because this one comment from her friend made her look at me in this different light. And so you guys have choices that you're gonna make over these next few years that could impact your life for the next 40 to 60 years. You could be determining if you're gonna stay in 4-H or expand your leadership abilities with other student leadership organizations. You could be determining what you're gonna do after school. Are you gonna go to college, go into the military? Are you going to maybe help your family on the farm? There's all these different options. You could be determining where you're gonna go to college. You could be dating the person you're going to marry. I knew some friends that dated since 6th grade and they're married to that person now. Someone was usually people are like, I gotta break up with someone. No, don't blame me if someone breaks up with you. Okay, that's your own fault. But these things that you guys are doing over the next few years could determine your life for the next 40 to 60 years. And so don't allow these other forces, these other limiting beliefs to tell you that you're less than. If you have a passion, something that you truly want to go for, obviously you have to make sure that it's something that you can actually make money in and be successful with. You can't do underwater basket weaving. I don't even know what that is, but people talk about that a lot. So don't do that if no one's going to pay you for it. But also it's a great place when you can find where your passion and desire and an opportunity to do something really mesh together. And so explore those things, shadow someone. Then you'll know what the job looks like. Ask people, hey, can I shadow you for a little bit? Can I talk with you to find out what that job actually is? So you have a choice to make. Renee had a choice to make. And so Renee actually ended up, we dated. And then so her senior year, we dated and we ended up dating for a while. We ended up getting engaged and we'll be married 16 years this July. So let me show you a picture of our awesome family. Let me do this here real quick. All right, that's not my awesome family. That's just me. So that would be weird. All right, so this is my family. The guy on the right, Ryan Gosling. As you can see, Justin Timberlake. Renee is on the left, blonde hair. She's holding our youngest one, Eliana. Middle one here. Whoa, oh, no. Okay, middle one here is Mackenzie. And then our oldest one is Olivia. And so right now, you guys don't know what your life is going to look like 10, 15 years from now. But you have to be able to look at your life and make choices that are going to help you on your path. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to make things that we regret, right? However, when you make choices, when you tell yourself that you're greater than those things, things start to become more clear for you, right? And I've made a lot of mistakes and failures in my life, but those things have helped me grow into who I am today. So what are the things that may be holding you back? What is that one thing that is telling you that you're less than? See, the choice is yours, and you have a choice to tell yourself that you're greater than those things. So I want you to not leave this talk the same that you came in. Okay, think about what is that one thing that is holding you back. Here's what I would love for you to do. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You guys can find me on Instagram under Emcee Speaker. Like Robin said, my goal in life is to have more followers on Instagram than my mom. People have tried to find out my mom's Instagram handle. No, nice try. It's not going to happen, okay? However, what I want you guys to do, so I have this up here. So you are greater than. If you guys remember math, that is a greater than sign, okay? So what I want you to do is, I would love for you to write this down, okay? So you are greater than. Put a blank line underneath, okay, like this. And then write that one thing that you feel that is holding you back, that you need to remind yourself that you are greater than, okay? I want you to even put it in the chat box right now. So is that depression? Is that bullying? Is that self-limiting beliefs? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Because you're greater than those things. You're greater than excuses. You're greater than doubt. You're greater than procrastination. But sometimes we just need a simple reminder. And sometimes we need that simple piece of few words on it that can drastically change our lives. So I want you to write that down. For me, sometimes I doubt myself, okay? So that's what I'm gonna put on here, okay? Sometimes I doubt that my abilities, that I'm not gonna fail, and it's a thing that I still struggle with to today. And so I want you guys to put that down. Let's see what we got in the chat box. But also, if you wanna follow me on Instagram, tag me in a picture. If you're putting it on Instagram, you can send me a message. I would love to hear from you guys. So you can send me a message. I respond to every message. I follow you back. I would love to follow you. I would love for you guys to message me anytime you want. I respond to each one myself. So let's go through here. All right. You're greater than stress. Yes. Very stressful last few months. Definitely. Self-looks and self-doubt for sure. For sure. Here's something. I think it's Anya. I think you are greater than what the mirror and the scale say you are, right? Because a lot of times we give the mirror way too much power, and you're so much greater than those things. So thanks for sharing that, Anya. Yep, fear, math, doubt. Yep, Grace, other people's opinions. Man, that's a tough one, right? Because we want people to like us. We want people to want to be with us. But here's the deal with that. Here's the secret with that, Grace. A lot of times, other people's opinions aren't what we think that they are. We think that someone thinks about us a certain way, or they gave us this look, and we start to build this thing in our minds that other people, they might not even think about that. The truth is, people don't think about you as much as you think they think about you. Does that make sense? Okay. People have a lot going on in their lives. And so we create this false narrative that people think about us, and we want everyone to like us. But the truth is, not everyone's going to like you. And you have to get to that point that you're okay with that, because you know that you're greater than other people's opinions. So for sure. Yeah, self-hatred, definitely. Worry and fear. Math, yes. Boredom. You're greater than, what is it, like 17 A's? Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate that. Self-doubt, not being good enough. Yep, that's a tough one. unsure, staying focused, toxic people, for sure. Yes, definitely. It's definitely. Yeah, mistakes. You know, we all make them. It's okay as long as we learn from those mistakes, for sure. Awesome. So Instagram, Kim asked, it's Emcee Speaker, okay? So let me throw it up here for you so you have that. And I have a gift for you guys. I was hoping we could sing it together, but I don't think we're gonna be able to. But you guys can follow me on Instagram. I don't know, why is it just sent? Okay, hold on, I think I got this now. Let me see here. Instagram. If I could spell right, that would be, it's not as if I was a spelling bee champ. Okay, Instagram.com/Emcee Speaker. You guys can follow me on there. Like I said, I will follow you back. I will respond to every message. And I have a gift for you guys. So to close out, my sister, I still call her Brownie Backstabber to this day, but I have a song that you guys can download for free. And this is no joke. I'm gonna put it in here so you can see it and you can download it. browniebackstabber.com, okay? It's a song available for you to download absolutely free. Go to browniebackstabber.com. I would love to know if you guys download it, what you think of it. I wish I could have done it in person live with you guys, but maybe someday we will. I actually am doing a video for it, so I'll send that when I get it. It's probably gonna be a few months down the road, but however, what is it about? Charlie asked, what is it about? The title, Charlie, is Brownie Backstabber, okay? It's about my sister that's a brownie backstabber. All right, so here's the deal. I want you guys to write on a piece of paper. I would love for you guys to put it on Instagram, message me, write down you are greater than, that one thing that you're greater than, that you need to remind yourself of, that you are greater than those things. So what are you gonna do now, okay? So you've heard this, what is the one thing that you're gonna change? Because a lot of times we overcomplicate when we try to grow and get better. So just one thing, what is that one thing that you're going to do? And as leaders, we help other people see their greatness, but we have to see it first. And so we can't settle for average, and we have to go for greatness. So thank you guys. You are greater than. I appreciate you guys. I would love to see you tomorrow at the workshop. So make sure you're signed up for that. I will be there. You will be there. It's going to be great. You are greater than. Thank you guys.
Great. Thank you very much, Michael. What an inspiring speech, especially in all the stuff that's going on today. And we turn on the news and don't hear much of good stuff. And so, you know, lots of unknowns, and you are greater than, and all of our 4-H members, you are all leaders in your community. And hopefully you've picked up just one or two pieces from this today that's going to help you in your leadership skills to make you better a person individually and better when within your community. And so I want to turn it over real quick to Andrew Carty, who is with the Indiana State Department of Agriculture, who is one of our sponsors, to have some comments from ISDH.
Thanks, Tony. Michael, like you said, we don't know what life's going to throw our way, but we do need to see ourselves as greater than those things. Surround ourselves with people that encourage us to be greater than, and I'd say become someone who encourages others to be greater than, which is what you just did, Michael. So that's just what I needed to hear right now. So my thanks to you for sharing your story with us. It's very inspirational and motivational. I did just want to say a couple of quick other things before we wrap up. Just like Tony mentioned, we're all facing this unexpected challenge right now. And I know that the Indiana 4-H Network has rapidly had to understand this impact and respond quickly with action to support you, our young Hoosiers. And I think that they've done that really well. Just making this happen virtually is a great example of that. I'd encourage you to be sure you also thank and remember to share your appreciation with Tony and Shelly and the remainder of the 4-H crew for all that they're doing. You know, as you know, and I probably don't need to reiterate, 4-H teaches leadership. It teaches you a servant heart. It teaches you the importance of community involvement, and to succeed in so many other different ways. I think 4-H can be and give you that push to really make you a leader and help you shine as a leader. It's an important way for people to learn and get exposed to a lot of different things. And that's the reason that we continue at ISDA to keep supporting 4-H programs like Roundup that have long-standing demonstrated success in helping you develop life skills that directly tie into the future education and career paths that you're interested in. I just want to say that you all give me so much hope for the future, and especially for the future of Indiana agriculture. There's so much uncertainty, but the skills you're learning now and in 4-H are going to help make you the leaders our industry needs in the future and our communities need in the future. I know that on our end, we'll continue our work to ensure both you and our communities have the resources to stay connected like this and engaged throughout this time. While we don't know what the future is going to bring, we do know that we're all in it together and that we'll all get through this together. And I believe, as Robin had mentioned earlier from Corteva, the things that you're learning right now are going to serve you the rest of your life. So I just reiterate that get up and keep up that grit and that tenacity that I know you all have. And that's really just what I wanted to share before we hop off.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And so, again, I just want to thank the Indiana 4-H Foundation for being able to secure financial sponsorship to be able to have 4-H Roundup. Also want to say a special thanks to Indiana State Department of Agriculture, Corteva Agrisciences, and Ceres Solutions for their financial sponsorship of this program. If you have not signed up yet for tomorrow's workshop, please do so. It's going to, bring a pencil and paper with you, because Michael's going to lead us through some exercises that's going to help you learn how to start building your resume, so that when you start seeking jobs, you're going to be able to present yourself in a great way, because we know that you are greater than a lot of others out there, and you're going to make the best of it. And so the other part that I want to do is, if you enjoyed this session, be sure to talk with your county educator. Thank them for helping you get signed up for this today. But most importantly, if you liked what you heard today from Michael and liked 4-H Roundup, be sure to talk to your county educator about going to 4-H Roundup next year, because we are hoping to have this as an in-person event again on campus next year that will have lots and lots of other activities going along with it. And so with that, thank you very much. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye now.